Hello to everybody out there, thank you for watching my video and have a good day. Now this video is going to be another video response. Now I know that I promised that I'm going to start a new YouTube series, but I still have to make a few video responses first. Now in this video I'm going to continue to expose this Christianophobia that is becoming more and more like a disease here on YouTube. So I'm going to respond again to ZOMGitsCriss. Now even if her last video seemed to be more as a parody, I need to make a response to this video because the arguments used by her are extremely used by atheists on YouTube.
Oh, hi there. I'm gonna shoot you in the knee. What? Why would you do that? Because I just became an atheist, so now there is no God telling me what's right and wrong. In consequence, there is no right and wrong. And I think shooting you would be fun. I always wanted to shoot people actually, the only thing that prevented me was the belief in a God.
Now I'm going to jump over the fact that she's actually talking with herself. She's talking with herself? Okay. I also going to jump over the fact that there are indeed people who they lose their faith and they become mass murderers. Such as perhaps the most famous atheist of all times, Joseph Vissarionovich Stalin. Would you believe that this man actually wanted to become a priest, but one day he just lost his faith and...
I'm gonna shoot you in the knee.
The argument used by Christina here is basically a straw man, because Christianity does not claim that if you're going to lose the faith today, you're going to become a criminal tomorrow.
What? Why would you do that? Because I just became an atheist, so now there is no God telling me what's right and wrong. In consequence, there is no right and wrong. And I think shooting you would be fun.
Personally, I never heard a Christian using this argument, that if you're going to lose the faith today, you're going to start killing people in a few hours or in a few days. So basically, what we are talking here, it's a straw man.
Why would you do that? Because I just became an atheist, so now there is no God telling me what's right and wrong. In
fact, Christianity recognizes that we could find morality in people who are not Christians, because God has written morality in our hearts.
Doesn't it count for nothing that I don't wanna be shot? Well, not really. You see, without absolute morality, all we are left with are personal moral codes, which are reduced to personal values, which are basically reduced to preferences. And I know it's your preference not to get shot, but it's my preference to shoot you, and without a standard of judgment, your preference is not more important than mine, so...
Now here we are talking about a loaded question, you know, like, you wanna be shot? How about it?
Otherwise there is no objective morality at all.
Now even if this entire video is called objective morality, Christina is actually talking about personal morality, especially her personal morality. And to avoid answering the real question, Christina is using straw man and loaded questions. Now if true morality exists, and that outside religion would be a very complex philosophical question, even if it exists, morality would still have to be recognized, and once recognized, it still has to be accepted. Now what do I speak about? For example, we have a lot of civilizations and important civilizations such as the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, who they were never able to recognize the type of morality that Christianity offers. On the other hand, we have a lot of modern atheist experiments such as the French Revolution, the Paris Commune, the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, the Cultural Revolution in China, the communist regime in East Europe and Asia. And in these last few examples, even if the leaders of those political regimes they did recognize morality, they never care about it. Now another example, a very good example, would be that there are people who they recognize that they don't care about morality, and that morality do not open any doors to you, and a man has to do what he has to do.
I'm gonna do what I want.
So the argument brought by ZOMGitsCriss never addressed the real problem.
You are implying that the standard for moral judgment can only be divine. That God can be the only objective basis for morality, otherwise there is no objective morality at all.
Now this video is very dishonest, because in this video everything what Christina is trying to do is just bring some argument for atheism, but in doing so she's forgetting about something that's supposed to be very important to her, and that is evolution, because according to evolution our morality has evolved and it continues to evolve, therefore there is no objective morality. Now, in royal societies, the infanticide of little girls was considered perfectly moral. Also in the Spartan society, the infanticide of children with disabilities was also considered perfectly moral.
The murder of infants has prevailed on the largest scale throughout the world, and has met with no reproach, but infanticide, especially of females, has been thought to be good for the tribe, or at least not injurious. Darwin, c. 1871. The Descent of Man. Reprint with introduction by J.T. Bonner and R.M.A. Princeton, New Jersey. Princeton Up, page 93.
Also, in a future society based on evolution, rape could become something perfectly moral, and for example, only the man or the woman who would prove themselves able to rape their partner could be allowed to pass their genes.
Well, not really. You see, without absolute morality, all we are left with are personal moral codes.
In fact, everything that we have is our personal moral code. The question is, what is the origin of our personal moral code?
It has been recorded that an Indian thug conscientiously regretted that he had not strangled and robbed as many travelers as did his father before him. Darwin, c. 1871. The Descent of Man.
Now we will find the origin of our personal moral code in our culture and in our education. Now for us as Europeans or Americans, our culture is basically a Christian culture. Just denying that would be plain stupid. Also, we could not deny the huge impact of Christianity in the formation of our culture and in the formation of our way of thinking.
My position is that we can logically determine what is right and wrong by analyzing the nature of things. Sorry, but I call bullshit on that.
Now I must agree with the last statement.
Sorry, but I call bullshit on that.
Now if that would be the case, and everything what people should do is just look around to what is bringing pain and sufferings to other people and try to do not do that, that would mean we should already live in a paradise. But still, we have thieves, we have criminals, so I suppose the zombie girl theory is wrong.
Without God there is no absolute truth, and good and evil are only matters of opinion.
Now, without God, another difficult philosophical question would appear. Without God, could we say there is such a thing as good, or there is such a thing as evil? Because without God we could invent subjective reasons for every bad action that we do.
But what if my kids are literally starving to death, and I steal from this obscenely rich guy who won't even notice it? Am I still immoral for taking the money from someone who doesn't need it to save my own kids? Or what if I kill someone to defend my life? What happens to the rules of stealing is bad and murder is bad in these situations?
So how about if you are a communist and you are torturing these enemies of the people who they supposed to be spies of the West, who they try to destroy your country? Or how about if you are an atheist and you actually believe this question, they're going to bring the dark age and the apocalypse, and you begin to kill them to save humanity?
Well, there are of course extraordinary circumstances in which you cannot be really held as immoral for committing such acts.
All circumstances are extraordinary. Everything what matters is from what point of view are you analyzing the situation.
If people would act only by their own desires and ignore the suffering they inflict on others, then the society would be a more dangerous, vile place to live in for everyone, including you. Would you like to live in a society where anyone could rape you or beat you up or shoot you at their will?
Now what is happening here is that Christina is using her own morality offered by her Christian education, by her Christian culture. What she do not want to realize, if she would be born in a cannibalistic society, in a place of loving her neighbor, she would probably eat her neighbor. Or if she would be born in a fundamentalistic Taliban village, in the place of loving Thunderfoot, she would probably do not want anything else in the world except shooting Thunder, killing Thunderfoot. So yes, we are pretty much a product of our education, we are pretty much a product of our culture. So yes, this is what Christianity offers, an education based on love. So now close to the end, I'm going to reject the whole argument offered by Christina by pointing to how much evil is in the world. So basically humans cannot find their own morality, so they need a divine morality to guide themselves. And to prove my case, I also want to point a finger to complex ancient societies such as the Greeks or the Romans, who they had a moral system, but that system would never be applied to a slave, to a peasant, to a woman, to a prisoner of war, and to a few other categories. So the fact that you are able to recognize a moral standard does not imply that you want to apply that standard to everyone. Now I'm going to put a few questions to Christina, which she will never answer, but I'm going to put them anyway. 1. How do you recognize the objective morality with your subjective mind? 2. If you indeed are able to recognize the objective morality with your subjective mind, what reason will motivate you to apply it in all circumstances? And 3. If morality evolves, how evolutionists claim, how do you know that our current standard of morality is the right one?